The former president Uhuru Kenyatta has decided to chase away Fred Matiangh'i after a church event in Nyandarua County which triggered sharp political ripples. Welcome to Kenya Lens Media, where we bring you news updates as they break, and kindly if you are new here, consider subscribing. Now, the former president Uhuru Kenyatta is reported to have confronted Jubilee Deputy Party leader Fred Matiangh'i following remarks made at the AIPCEA church service in Nyandarua County that sparked discontent within party ranks. The controversy centers on Matiangh'i's proposal involving Senator John Muhia Methu, who remains a UDA senator despite aligning himself with Rigathi Gachagwa's DCP party. Jubilee members, including Nyeri politician Ngunjiri Wamugu, questioned the move, saying it undermines party aspirants and risks weakening Jubilee's position ahead of the 2027 election. What began as a church appearance has evolved into a political storm. Fred Matiangh'i, the deputy party leader of Jubilee, attended a service at AIPCEA Church in Nyandarua County. While addressing congregants, he made comments that have since stirred unease within his party. According to party insiders, Matiangh'i proposed support for Senator John Muhia Methu, and Methu is currently serving as a senator and a United Democratic Alliance party, even though he has aligned himself politically with Rigathi Gachagwa's DCP party.
Mimi sina kura hapa Nyandarua, lakini kama ningekuwa na kura hapa, ningekupigia kura kama senator, because huyu ni mtu mzuri sana, tumefanya kazi na yeye. And he is a good man. Unajua sometimes ukiona mtu ambaye anaweza kazi and is a good man, you don't have that kama tuko kwa kanisa. See, that's why we are supposed to be honest, tuseme mambo ya kweli hapa.
For many Jubilee members, the alignment raised the questions. They argue that backing a leader who does not belong to Jubilee sends mixed signals to party loyalists. The reaction was swift. Several Jubilee supporters turned to social media to express frustration. They warned that endorsing leaders from outside the party could demoralize grassroots supporters. Among those who raised concerns was Ngunjiri Gwambugu, a vocal Jubilee member. He questioned the wisdom of supporting a politician affiliated with a different party, while Jubilee has its own aspirant preparing for the same seat. In Nyandarua County, Jubilee has a senatorial aspirant named Macharia Mokua, and Mokua is known as a strong supporter of both Jubilee Party and Fred Matiangh'i. He is considered a key figure within the party's local structures, and Mokua is also a direct political competitor of Senator Methu. For many Jubilee supporters, supporting Methu instead of Mokua appears to contradict party interests, and they argue that such a move could weaken Jubilee's internal cohesion. Party politics also depend on loyalty and recognition. Aspirants expect their party leadership to stand firmly behind him. Grassroots mobilization is built on trust, and when leaders appear to support a candidate from rival parties, that trust can be strained. Beyond the Nyandarua issue, other concerns have surfaced. Some Jubilee members claim that Matiangh'i has not consistently recognized Jubilee aspirants during campaign appearances. They noted that other party leaders often introduce and publicly acknowledge their candidates at rallies. This, they say, strengthens morale and signals unity. In contrast, critics argue that Matiangh'i has sometimes failed to highlight Jubilee aspirants when addressing crowds. Another point of contention involves political branding. Observers have noted that during recent rallies, colors associated with the DCP party have been more visible than Jubilee's traditional red branding. Supporters argue that visual identity matters in politics. Party colors, symbols, messaging play a role in reinforcing loyalty and recognition. Some Jubilee members have publicly called on Matiangh'i to more visibly embrace the party's red colors. They describe Jubilee as a political vehicle towards 2027. In their view, consistent branding would reassure supporters that he remains fully committed to the party. These developments appear to have reached former President Uhuru Kenyatta, who remains the Jubilee party leader, and sources indicated that Kenyatta is not pleased with how recent events have unfolded. The reported confrontation reflects deeper concerns about party discipline and direction. Jubilee has been navigating a complex political environment since the last general election, and internal unity has become increasingly important as parties begin positioning themselves for 2027. Leadership cohesion is often seen as essential in maintaining credibility, and political analysts note that early signs of division can have long-term effects. Grassroots supporters closely observe how leaders treat aspirants. They also watch how party alliances are formed. In a multi-party system, coalition building is common. However, it requires careful balancing to avoid alienating core supporters, and in this case, the controversy centers on whether supporting a senator from another party aligns with the Jubilee's broader strategy. And for Macharia Mokua and the supporters, the situation is particularly sensitive. As a Jubilee aspirant in Nyandarua, he relies on visible backing from the party top leadership. A perceived shift in his support would complicate his campaign. The debate also reflects broader questions about party identity. Jubilee has historically emphasized the loyalty and structure. Party members expect a clear chain of support from the national leadership to local aspirants, and when the clarity appears blurred, tensions can surface. The setting of the incident adds another layer, and church gatherings often attract diverse audiences. Political remarks made in such settings can carry significant weight. They are heard not only by congregants but also by local political actors. In Nyandarua, where political competition is active, even subtle endorsement can influence perceptions. As the Jubilee Party recalibrates its strategy ahead of the 2027, unity remains a key theme, and the former President Uhuru Kenyatta's reported reaction signals the importance he places on internal discipline. Party leadership often requires balancing national alliances with the grassroots loyalty, and the coming weeks may determine how this issue is resolved. For now, Jubilee members are calling for clear direction. They want the reassurance that party aspirants will be supported. They also want visible alignment between leadership messaging and party branding. Fred Matiangh'i remains a prominent figure within Jubilee, and his actions are closely watched by both supporters and rivals. How he navigates this moment could influence perceptions of his leadership style. At the same time, the party faces the broader challenge of maintaining cohesion in a shifting political landscape. As alliances form and align, internal communication becomes even more critical. Political observers suggest that early misunderstandings, if left unaddressed, can grow into deeper fractures. For Jubilee, the priority may now be restoring confidence among its grassroots base. The controversy highlights how even a single comment can ripple through party structures, and in politics, perception often carries as much weight as policy. And in the run-up to national election, unity is not just symbolic, it is strategic. As the Jubilee looks towards 2027, the message from within its ranks is clear. Unity, loyalty, and clarity of purpose may determine not only its strength, but its future. That is all we had for you today from the internal structure of Jubilee and the tension that is growing inside Jubilee. Kindly, if you are new here, consider subscribing as a way of motivating us and also helping us grow this platform.